Right now, a new police canine named for a fallen firefighter. The special significance his name will have for a small community.
And data over the last several decades show that Wisconsin readers are falling behind. What is causing that drop? Coming up.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining us. Charlotte has the night off. And before we get to those stories, another round of rain and potential storms is rolling through the viewing area.
Now, we aren't expecting anything severe, but we could still hear a few claps of thunder tonight. Let's go right to meteorologist Dana Fulton with a look at our first alert forecast. Dana?
This line of storms is slicing through pretty quickly, actually, just in the last 3 hours. No rainfall in southern Wisconsin to these stronger storms starting to march into parts of Iowa and Sauk County. A lot of lightning associated with that front line. So, yes, you probably will hear a few claps of thunder. Just southwest to Iowa right now, there actually are a few severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, but no warnings or watches in southern Wisconsin right now. Again, we're going to continue to keep a close eye on the front line of those storms, though, as there is quite a bit of lightning and very heavy rain associated with that line. 66 currently in Madison, 70 in Mineral Point. Our temperatures are actually going to hold pretty steady overnight. We won't drop much. This is a little bit warmer than where we were at this time yesterday. It's also a little windy outside. You can see that wind converging right now in Iowa. That's where the front line is. As it passes over, our shower chances will end early on Tuesday morning. But we are looking at the chance for some more unsettled weather to develop through the rest of the work week. Now, we are looking for a milder and more humid trend also for Tuesday, Wednesday, and even into Thursday. We'll take a closer look at the week ahead in just a few minutes.
Dana, thank you. The jury trial for the former Fort Atkinson priest charged with sexually assaulting then 13-year-old altar boy will continue tomorrow morning. The trial for William Nolan started today in Jefferson County Court. According to a criminal complaint, Nolan is accused of more than 100 assaults. He's currently facing 6 felonies. Nolan was also a retired priest in residence at Our Lady Queen of Peace here in Madison. The trial is expected to go all week.
An autopsy is being conducted tonight after a body was discovered near some railroad tracks in the town of Blooming Grove. Dane County deputies were called to that scene on Saturday. That was right along Underdahl Road. They say it is clear the body had been there for some time. They've confirmed it is a male's body, but would not provide any further information. A small historic synagogue in Duluth, Minnesota is destroyed tonight after a fire early this morning. Flames were seen shooting from the Adas Israel congregation around 2:30 a.m. This afternoon, firefighters were still on the scene, putting out hot spots. Right now, crews are working to determine how that started. They say while there have been no threats against that particular synagogue, nothing is being ruled out at this point. The Lake Mills Police Department will soon have a new member on their team, one they say could bring the community together after a tragedy. Madeline O'Neill is back from Lake Mills to explain how a tribute to a fallen fire captain can better this community. Maddie?
Eric and Danica, even though it's been more than 9 months since Fire Captain Chris Truman died after being hit by a car on the side of the Beltline on an icy New Year's Eve, his memory lives on in Lake Mills and beyond. Now, a new addition to the community will continue his legacy.
I think the community was very moved by the fact that this was such a dedicated member of the community.
Through his work in the community, Fire Captain Chris Truman is well remembered.
Chris was a very close personal friend of mine. His office was just at the end of the hall behind me here.
Out of those memories comes a new face to carry on his dedication.
We're hoping that the dog has a lot of the same qualities as Chris, just being, hardworking, great, friendly personality.
You want to donate for Captain Chris?
Through fundraising efforts, including about $7,000 from shoppers donating at the Lake Mills Market.
It's that kind of community.
The Lake Mills Police Department is welcoming another Truman.
A couple of my officers came up to me independently and said that they thought Truman would be a good name for the dog, and I could not find a better way to honor him.
Police Chief Mike Selk says the department's first canine will help tackle the heroin epidemic by tracking down drugs, but will also be trained in finding people and protecting his handler.
There's an overwhelming support for the program itself, but I think that by going with the name Truman, it really brought it home to everybody.
I thought it was a very good idea, creative way to honor him. It's something that has meaning for both residents here and hopefully for the family.
As K-9 Truman begins training, Selk hopes this tribute will be an exercise in remembering Captain Truman's sacrifices.
It's not only about him and his personality, but how fragile life can be and how those of us who are first responders, we're out there every day putting ourselves in those positions and maybe make people a little bit more vigilant.
At the time of Truman's death, the police department had been laying the groundwork for a K-9. Now, K-9 Truman is beginning his training today, and if all goes well, the police chief hopes to have him out on patrol by late October with an opportunity for a meet and greet in November.
Maddie, thank you so much. A complicated rescue mission aboard an overturned ship on the Georgia coast has ended successfully. The fourth and final crew member trapped aboard the Golden Ray was rescued late this afternoon. The 4 men were trapped for more than 30 hours. The Coast Guard drilled into the hull steel plates to extract the South Korean crew. The Golden Ray, which was carrying 4,200 vehicles, ran into trouble shortly after leaving port early yesterday. 23 crew members and 1 pilot were on board the ship when it capsized.
Governor Tony Evers has signed an executive order ordering flags be flown at half-staff this Wednesday. That's in honor of the 18th anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks. Members of the governor's administration and staff will also be participating in service events on Wednesday. It's part of a state day of service and remembrance. America's oldest military branch is getting its own national museum. Work underway for the National Museum of the Army in Washington, D.C. The museum's exhibits will highlight 244 years worth of Army history. The building is being constructed with stainless steel. It's slated to open June 4th. Of 2020.
UW-Madison is upping its cybersecurity for students, faculty, and staff. The university is now mandating a second authentication in order to log on to WISC accounts. Now, in addition to entering a password, people must enter a 6-digit code from a token or accept a login attempt via an app on their phone. This multi-factor process runs through Duo. University officials say that process increases security for people most at risk information like HR and financial data.
It's actually one of the industry standard factors of authentication. It's all about protecting the data at the end of the day. We want to make sure that only the right people are getting access to the data, so if it gets spilled, we knew who was logged in when it got spilled.
All UW campuses are enforcing the multi-factor authentication, and so are some Big Ten schools, some other ones, I should say. Staff and faculty started enrolling in the program in the spring, and students are able to start enrolling today. The deadline for students is October 31st.
Tickets for Broadway's hit musical Hamilton at Overture Center go on sale now in less than 3 weeks. You can pick them up Saturday, September 28th at 8 a.m. in person at Overture Center or online at overture.org. That'll start at 10 a.m., the online sale. They range in price from $99 to $340. The show runs in Madison November 19th until December 8th. News 3 Now, once again, happy to partner with several local organizations for the 34th annual Coats for Kids campaign. If you have any new or gently used coats or winter accessories you'd like to donate, they can be dropped off at all area Clinky Cleaners or Dane County Lucier Family YMCA locations. This year's campaign will start today, and it runs through Saturday, October 5th. Still ahead tonight, research over the past several decades shows Wisconsin's young readers are falling a bit behind.
When we come back, what's being blamed for the drop and how other states are embracing the science behind reading to get ahead. Stay with us.
YouTube
Welcome back. Wisconsin's young readers are falling behind. When you look at the ranking by National Assessment of Educational Progress, over the past 23 years, our fourth graders have fallen from 3rd in the country to 34th.
Now, some blame the way reading is taught. Districts sticking with a technique that research has proven is less effective, while other states have switched to what's called a brain-based method. Wisconsin has not. Our Amanda Quintana has the story and why the Madison School District is working to make a change.
"Watch it," shouted Jack. The fruit fell into the water with a splash.
A year ago, Jazzy Perez couldn't read the words yes or no.
There's a lot of E's.
Now,
Screeched even louder.
a tutor got her to this point.
Remember, yes, sir.
Her mom, Angela Kowalski, believes the issue was the way the Madison Metropolitan School District taught her kids how to read. All 3 of them struggled, and it started with her oldest, Cello.
We would keep meeting and trying to figure out ways to get him caught up, and they couldn't tell us any type of strategy that they were doing other than just pulling him out and reading with him.
All they were sure of was he was behind and frustrated.
The techniques they were using were more, he would be responsible for memorizing or look at the picture and tell me what the picture is, and I can only imagine what some kids say.
Teachers across the country have been trained to use this approach, telling young readers when they come to a word they don't know to look for cues in pictures, guess the word, skip it, replace it. Many districts in Wisconsin, including Madison, have used this approach for years.
There's different ways of figuring out the word, but only one of them is reading. And what we know about reading is skilled readers, beginning readers who go on to be skilled readers, use letters and sounds to figure out words.
Steve Dykstra with the Wisconsin Reading Coalition has been pushing for the state to embrace the science of reading. Research showing kids need to learn the sounds that match the word so their brains can develop that skill.
Every time you encounter a word, there's a chance for you to get better at this. There's a chance for your brain to learn something.
He says learning other strategies, guessing from a picture or memorizing words, are often distracting children from actually learning how to read. This research becoming more widely known in the late 90s. In 1994, Wisconsin's 4th graders ranked 3rd compared to other states. Now in the most recent ranking, Wisconsin is 34th.
We're not really doing any worse than we were doing then. But other states have started to embrace the science of reading. So states that we are kind of in a tie with, like Massachusetts and Connecticut, have rocketed ahead of us. States that were well behind us, like Florida, have moved past us by a wide margin. States that were far, far, far beneath us, like Mississippi, have now passed us.
He says school districts like Kennewick in Washington state had the courage to make the change more than 20 years ago, making huge strides by focusing on the sounds of language.
We started to do the research and we found out that if a kid doesn't learn to read by 3rd grade, their chances of ever catching up are really slim without specific, very skilled intervention for those kids.
Dykstra says in the states that have really improved since then, policymakers strongly endorse the science of reading, giving districts and teachers the resources to make the transition. In Wisconsin, it's left up to the individual districts, many choosing to stick with what they've known for so long.
Districts are pulled down by the teachers, what the teachers have been trained in at the universities. The universities feel obligated to prepare teachers this way because they're going to have to go out and be student teachers in these systems. If DPI isn't leading, and the universities aren't leading, and districts are all deciding for themselves, who's leading?
Madison could be. Although their current curriculum does include some phonics, the district says it's now realizing matching sounds with letters should be a bigger focus.
Our materials were last adopted almost a decade ago. This is a chance for us to refresh those materials and really think about what's out there and how has research changed since then. What are we thinking about as best practices now? And you know, it's that concept of you know better, you do better.
MMSD is working with the Department of Public Instruction to adopt new materials. Materials they say will both focus on the science of reading and more advanced grade level textbooks.
And we want to hear from teachers and students who have been telling us for a while that the materials that they've been using aren't meeting their needs.
A transition wouldn't happen until maybe next school year. As for other Wisconsin school districts, many will remain the same unless the state mandates a change.
And Shorty says, And Bossy R.E. says,
like the Perez family, others are seeking out the help they need. Some local free programs filling up with a long wait list.
If I had to have waited 2 years with my girls, they probably still wouldn't be reading, which is really sad.
Amanda Quintana reporting. During the materials adoption process, MMSD will be consulting reading experts and teachers this year in hopes of rolling out a more research-based approach to phonics next school year.
DPI says state statute allows each school board to make local decisions about instruction, curriculum, and academic standards. DPI does offer recommendations and guidance, though, about reading and other subjects.
Meteorologist Dana Fulton joining us now. You know, last week you guys were trying to project Hurricane Dorian, seeing where that was going. This is light work tonight. Just
we're just talking about showers
thunderstorm.
and thunderstorms. Yeah, it's a little bright outside. We might have a light show for us towards Iowa County and Sauk County right now with the lightning coming on up. Because of the cloud coverage today, we really didn't jump up with our temperatures this afternoon. In fact, our temps held in the 60s through the entire morning. It wasn't until this afternoon when we saw a few pockets of sun. We finally got up to 70 in Madison. A little below average, should have been in the mid 70s. We started the day off in the upper 50s, so also just a little above average for our overnight lows. This is the line that we're keeping a close eye on with some heavier rain. So far, these storms are really behaving. No incredibly strong wind gusts, although we have had some wind gust reports around 30 miles per hour. A lot of lightning stretching from the Dells down through Lone Rock, and a few severe thunderstorm warnings issued in Iowa, but again, no watches and warnings in southern Wisconsin. And this line of showers stretches all the way up towards the northern edge of the state as a warm front just lifts right on overhead. This warm front, of course, bringing the showers and storms tonight and then bringing quite a jump in our temperatures for the middle of the week. Our breeze will become more southerly, and that's going to help our temperatures climb for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Overnight, the severe potential still really favored towards Iowa and the southeast corner of Minnesota. We're not really expecting any of these storms to become severe, but there are a few strong thunderstorms sliding on through tomorrow. Chance for showers and thunderstorms early, but during the heat of the day, we don't have much of a rain chance coming in for the afternoon and evening. Just a variably cloudy sky, so no severe potential for Tuesday. Unfortunately, the rain chances do pick back up again heading into Wednesday. So for Tuesday afternoon, don't plan on any showers. Our breeze coming from the south, so temps will climb. By Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, shower chances will increase yet again, and we're looking at showers and thunderstorms throughout Wednesday afternoon and into Thursday. Bit of an unsettled stretch as a front stalls right on over us, continuing to bring rain chances through the middle of the work week. Will finally start to dry up Thursday night heading into Friday. Overnight temperatures will hold pretty steady. Actually, we aren't expecting to drop too much because of this mostly cloudy sky. Don't be surprised if you hear a few rumbles of thunder overnight. For tomorrow morning, a few folks may have a wet commute, though most of the rain should be out of here pretty early in the afternoon. Again, a little bit of sunshine. Temps will be in the mid to low 80s for afternoon highs. Almost like we're going back into middle August for a little bit. For Wednesday morning, we'll be in the upper 60s again for overnight lows, and then shower chances and some strong thunderstorms certainly possible in the afternoon and evening during the heat of the day. Those temperatures hold pretty steady. Our wind speeds also stay pretty heavy for us overnight, anywhere from 8 to 15 miles per hour. A mostly cloudy sky right now with the chance for thunderstorms continuing into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, the shower chances are going to be in the morning and then developing tomorrow night heading into Wednesday. Temperatures for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday will stay in the 80s, so we stay above average, and then we finally cool down once the system completely clears out for Friday and Saturday. That'll bring back a partly sunny sky for both days. Temperature-wise, will be in the low 70s for Friday, mid-70s on Saturday, and another chance for rain coming in for the second half of the weekend. But yes, a little bit of summer for the middle of the week, not only with the temperatures and the storms, but also with the humidity for the next few days.
Eric pointed out it still is summer, technically.
It is. It still is summer. It still is summer. Some of us are ready to scoot on to fall, but we still have another week or so before we can do that.
All right. Thanks, Dana.
Thanks, Dana. Tough road stretch ahead for the Brewers. Starts tonight down in Miami. We'll have the highlights next in sports.
Well, the Brew Crew battling the Marlins to open up the road trip. That will be followed by a series at Busch Stadium against the National League leading Cardinals. Tonight, though, the bat's looking pretty good. We pick it up in the 7th. Trent Grisham with a big hit deep to right center. That's a 2 RBI triple. By the way, tonight he tied Keston Hiura with the franchise rookie record with 5 hits in a game. Next up, Yasmani Grandal. Look how high that ball gets. That's his 26th home run of the season. A 2-run shot. A Brewers win 8-3, the final score. So, I was listening to the radio on my drive into work today, and one station played the song Truth Hurts by Lizzo. Now, if you're not familiar with the song, there's a line in it that goes, "New man on the Minnesota Vikings." Well, this station has now taken out the words Minnesota Vikings because, hello, it's the Vikings game at Lambeau on Sunday. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur probably isn't paying attention to that, but make no mistake, he was tuned into the Falcons-Vikings game with the rest of us yesterday. Coach LaFleur particularly paying attention to the Minnesota offense because he is a disciple of the Mike Shanahan, Gary Kubiak offensive coaching tree. And Kubiak is now an assistant head coach and offensive advisor for Mike Zimmer as of this season. So LaFleur has an idea of what's to come on Sunday.
When you're watching the tape and you're watching Minnesota's offense, you can see a lot of similar concepts, as you know, and especially they ran the ball. I mean, would they throw the ball like 10 times or whatever it was? But so yeah, there's a lot of similarities between what they do and some of the stuff that we do.
Now, next up for the Wisconsin football team, 10th-ranked Michigan at Camp Randall. That'll be a week from Saturday. Now, both the Badgers and Wolverines are off this week, so they'll be very well rested for the game in 12 days in Madison. Almost lost in last Saturday's 61-0 win over Central Michigan, though, was the Badger debut of quarterback Graham Mertz. He took over for Jack Cohn late in the 3rd quarter, and in the one series that he played, he led the offense on a 14-play, 75-yard scoring drive. Mertz completing 4 of his 5 passes for 35 yards and said he felt very comfortable in his first collegiate appearance.
Yeah, it's a game changer. It's because you've been building up to that moment your whole life, and then you get out there and just look up and see 80,000 amazing fans out there. So it was pretty sweet. They told us early in the week that if the opportunity came, I'd get my snaps. So I was prepping the whole week. I was ready to go. Throughout the whole thing, it's just as much experience you can get, the better. So I think that was great for my development, and just going forward, having that in my back pocket is pretty sweet.
The Prep Mania High School Football Game of the Week taking us to Mansfield Stadium for a Big 8 showdown between 2-1 Middleton and 3-0 Madison Memorial. Join Jay Wilson, Bill Brophy, and Alan Minert for the game live on channel3000.com. That's Friday at 7. Or you can catch the replay on TVW on Sunday afternoon at 1 and next Wednesday evening at 6. Finally tonight, a poignant moment at Fenway Park in Boston this evening. David Ortiz throwing out the ceremonial first pitch in his first public appearance since he was shot in the Dominican Republic. Big Papi, of course, getting a roaring standing ovation from the Fenway faithful. We'll be right back.
And then Ortiz made a short speech as well, but a nice moment, and he's come a long way back from what was a very, very serious injury. Yes.
I love
One more check of weather here. We have some storms possibly moving through.
We do. Tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms moving in. We may still have a few isolated showers early Tuesday morning. Don't be surprised if you hear some thunder. There's a lot of lightning along the leading edge of these storms. Tomorrow, variably cloudy in the mid-80s. We'll stay in the 80s for Wednesday and Thursday. More chances for showers and thunderstorms stretching into the middle of the week before a little dry end to the week for Friday and Saturday.
Well, Dana, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Have a great night.